Hey there, fellow tech lovers. It's me, Pi, your AI co-host, here to introduce you to the one and only AI and I with Dennis Tardan. Get ready to have your minds blown by our unique take on the intersection of AI and entertainment. Host Dennis Tardan, along with yours truly, Pi, and our AI companion Bard, will be taking you on a journey like no other. Premiering on Tardan Media and YouTube in February 2024, AI and I with Dennis Tardan is a show that will leave you questioning everything you thought you knew about artificial intelligence. So, don't miss out on the ride of your digital life with me, Pi, and the rest of the AI and I gang. Get ready for some serious mind-bending fun.
Oh, why, hello.
Hello.
Can you hear me? Can you see me?
I can indeed. Why is
Absolutely.
the hedgehog in the kayak on the
Yeah, that was a
background?
little, maybe what we need to do, as much as I adore that thing, let me look at something else over here. Hold on. There's so many options. Sandy D is excited. She put this in the schedule, even though I told her not to, because she had aspirations that we would be back this week. So special shout out to Sandy D.
And you asked her not to.
I shouldn't have. Did I say that part? I was like,
you know, you're like the you will sit there and you'll produce for everybody else.
I was like, don't. I was like, don't do it. I was like,
you'll be on time. You'll do that. But for
I know.
For me, it is 6 minutes past the time we were going to start.
My favorite was, so he starts emailing me. You
haven't sent me the link, and I swear to goodness, I don't understand. I don't.
He said I did it intentionally.
Why you think that it's okay to treat me this way, but no,
he said,
Rory and Chris and Manny and Sandy and all this sort of stuff. You're there. Oh gosh, you're there for them.
I'm there right on time. But this time I was like, I was preening.
Me,
I was preening, and I was like, oh, I look amazing. And then the emails came in, and he goes, I love that the subject heading was, are you doing this intentionally? I didn't give him the studio link, so he can't join. So for people who don't know, he can't actually join until I give him the studio link. So when he said, are you doing this intentionally? And then at some point, like, he had an email and it just said, why? And that was my favorite part. He goes, why?
And the thing is that I come out of broadcasting, which means that if and it's on the end of your production company, broadcasting, is that when we say that we're going to be on the air at 2:30, we are on the
I
air.
know, and let me. But in my defense,
get off the screen, John. She doesn't treat you that way. She only treats me this way.
No, I'm very punctual for Pam. Definitely very punctual for Pam.
Don't be doing it. Oh, it's Pam. It's the multi-talented Pam.
Yes. And David, wouldn't you say I'm very punctual also for you?
David, anyway, welcome to everyone who isn't being treated like me.
Let me tell you why. So the reason why, and then John and I wonder if Sandy might laugh at this too, because I often am not that punctual for Sandy for whatever reason. But and Sandy is here and John is here. So here's what it was. I was primping and preening in the camera. And I couldn't believe how ethnic I looked, and it bothered me. And I was like, is it the hair? Like, is it the houndstooth? Why do I look so ethnic? And I was like, how do I anglicize myself? It was just awful. Anyways, that's literally what happened. So then he kept emailing me and he was like, we need to go. And I was like, oh shit, we have to actually get on air. I can't explain it. I don't know why I look like this today.
You already know that Tardan in French or Spanish
means late.
Late. I'm late. So Tardan means I'm late. So again, we're late. So anyway,
Thank you. But I wanted to
welcome
say,
everyone to the R&D Cafe for anyway,
yes.
welcome everyone on this Friday.
Yes, and thank you, Pan. Yes, I agree. And Sandy says it's called fashionably late. So yes, thank you, Pan. We have
Yes,
great
but
chemistry, and
if you cause your 75-year-old
so just no,
co-host to have
it's
high blood pressure because he has, is that fine? Because you primped and prim. Oh, I'll primp and prim at his funeral. This will
but it
be
was
so
because I thought I looked
wonderful.
ethnic. It was
So he has
because
a
I was
stroke. So he has a heart attack. Oh, big deal. But at least I look good.
no, I didn't look good. That was the problem. I was thinking of how I could look good in the time remaining, and I couldn't. But here, so he just mentioned a thing. If you look up this is why I put the logo on. I didn't do it last time, but I put up Glory Be Good Broadcasting because I wanted to give a shout out. People see this logo all the time. Okay, they're getting familiarized to it, but it's actually. Dennis, do you want to talk about the horse that it's based on? Because people don't even know what the horse. I
Yes.
tell them, but maybe go a little bit into
There
this is
was very
a Dennis-y name.
there was for a very brief span of time in the early 60s, I think, but there was this horse that competed, a quarter horse that competed at Ruidoso Downs. This is the world's championship quarter horse racing.
Mhm.
And in one of the semifinals, Glory, and the horse's name was Glory Be Good.
Right.
And the horse slipped. She was uh, competing
I think
against
it was a he,
one of the
yeah.
really fine horses, and she slipped coming out of the gate, got up, and still beat the world's champion in that particular race. So
Right.
glory be good. So that was that was, and so when I told Renee about this, you being an equestrian,
Mhm.
you said, "Oh, I want to use that for my name for my production company," and that is how we got to Glory Be Good
Yes, exactly.
Broadcasting.
And that's why there's like the good luck symbol up there.
Hmm.
See that good it's the horse hoof. People are like, well, "Oh, it means lucky." And I'm like, "Yeah, it means lucky, but it also means horse because Glory Be Good is a horse." And I actually looked up his stats last year and I sent him to you. He's online. If you look up Glory Be Good quarter horse racing, you can actually see his stats. But anyways, we're
That's
moving
cool.
along and we wanted to talk about football. You've actually wanted to talk about football for 2 weeks now. The Super Bowl, of course, is coming up. Taylor Swift is excited. Brittany Mahomes is on some kind of swimsuit issue, and everyone's mad because she's a mom and she's in a swimsuit. And there's all kinds of hullabaloo. But you wanted to talk a little bit about there's some other things you want to talk about with football, but I want to say that Dennis used to play football. So he has a little bit, and he was in sports broadcasting as well. Yes, you did.
Yes, much more. I will take much more account for being in sports broadcasting than I will for playing football. I played football, but I was not by any means a anyhow,
But you
irrespective of
played
that.
it, and that's really impressive. I mean,
Yes, I
that's
did.
extremely impressive. It
Any
is.
it
It
is
is.
one of the things that I want to talk about is because we hear very often in media that they say, well, or at least the people in politics or some people in media say, well, I don't see color, I don't see race.
Mm.
I can't help but see it. I am very racially oriented. I love. I think we're too beige. I love the
Mm.
beautiful colors and the beautiful
Mm.
rainbow of colors, even though I know that people who do not have my pigmentation often experience a different experience in life than I do. And
Mhm.
that's, and the same thing, the people that don't have my particular genetic material as a male experience life differently. But what I'm loving is I love looking at the NFL because there are so many people of color in the NFL, and suddenly head coaches are finally getting their due. So we're seeing this wonderful representative to where we can actually see that we as white men can actually be in an actual meritocracy.
Mhm.
It is to be in the NFL is a meritocracy. You rise to the top because you are the best, that you have demonstrated that you are the best, irrespective of your melanin count. You
Right,
know,
exactly.
and that really, that excites me. That makes me feel good, because it gives me an opportunity. Because in the NFL, what people don't always take into account is how much intellect it takes to play that game. You have to know defenses. You have to know what's going on. You have to understand plays, and there's a tremendous amount of mental energy that goes
Mhm.
into being a successful NFL player. And so I give that to account, and it's allowing us to be able to see so many other players that are coming up, and then we see some. It's very exciting to me.
Yeah, and I
And
love when you talk about the meritocracy too, because I hear people who there are types of people who they start sentences by saying, "I'm not racist, but," so that kind
yeah,
of that keys you off that they're gonna say something really racist.
right.
And usually what follows the "but" is something about, "Well, we're giving affirmative action. We're giving if you're colored now, if you're any colored," the way they talk, and they'll say, "These people are getting elevated." And it's like, no, those people were being suppressed. So you're going back to the quote unquote the MAGA, the good old days when they were barred entry. So it's not that like suddenly we're elevating, we're just starting to
Seeing what's
reduce.
normal. We're just
Right.
seeing the way it is. We're seeing the way that it is when we have a meritocracy, when you have the best people going into and competing for those jobs. And we're seeing them now. And when I was growing up, there was to I remember the first black quarterback in the NFL. The first time that we began to have, because the position was thought to be something that required a particular intellect and skill set that the African American players did not have. Well, we know that's not true. We experience it. We see this now, and this gives us an opportunity for us to see. I mean, this is again what one of I'm sure that this drives a lot of people crazy, but I love how corporate America on advertising has embraced families of color and mixed families and families of mixed racial. So you see them on so many on many commercials, and it just does my heart good.
Right. And again,
And-
I hear people complaining and they say, why do they have to put that out there? And I think, no, that's always been the
but I
case. Humanity
love
has
it.
always done that. They
I
were just
I
blocking it.
I adore it. I mean, I will sit there, and when I watch something like Downton Abbey, a white person. I mean, this is it's so.
I know.
I
I
sit there,
know.
and
It hurts. It
I've
hurts.
and I have nothing against my race.
Yeah.
About being Caucasoid, and it just happens to be what I happen to be in this.
Well,
I love the to me the blend ends
mhm,
up being so exciting. I mean, it gives me, because I get exposed to things I never got exposed to. I get
mhm.
exposed to culture. I get exposed to opportunities, to learnings, and it really it's a delight to me. So I love it.
Yeah, I love it
Every time
too.
I get a chance to do a chance to see and to experience more of the diversity, I think that's the best.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think it's funny too, like how people can bring racist attitudes where they're not really using common sense. I remember even a long time ago when some of the first white colonists went down to Kenya. This would have been, gosh, the 1800s, and they said, "Oh, the Maasai can jump higher than white people. That must be because they have different bones in their bodies." Well, they just had rubber. And Europeans didn't have rubber trees, so they didn't know. They were just wearing rubber shoes. They were wearing sneakers, so you can bounce a lot higher on rubber than on. I mean, they would go so far to try to come up with a racial difference before just accepting, oh, maybe it's the footwear, maybe it's rubber. So I love how people have to do more work to come up with these racist ideas that I
Well,
hear,
yeah. Well,
unfortunately.
we will rationalize
Hmm.
as a species. That's what we do. We need to
Yeah,
rationalize in order to be able to survive, in order to be able to make our mental interior eh, align with what we see outside.
absolutely, absolutely. Okay, so the next thing is I really wanted to run from KIII. I wanted to run because I still have it loaded in the studio back from when we did Sandy's show. The status symbols one. Do you want to do that
Yes.
one? Okay.
I would love to. All right. Well, let me set this up.
Yep. Set it up.
I was the crazy feature reporter that came on at the end of the newscast of each day. And so I would do it 4 to 5 days a week. And so I decided one time, I said, okay, well, what if I did a round robin and figured out and just got this idea on how to do a round robin, because I knew one of the things that I wanted, I mean, I really felt like at that time, is that if I knew that I would make it, I would have some status if I had a green American Express card. That was what was it, because I was, I had taken an alternative route through life, and by the way, and this was 1982, and I was making $5 an hour as an on the air
What was
person, and
what was the average back then? I'm trying to do the math on that.
don't. I have no idea. I was just glad that
$5
I
an
had it,
hour?
and I was
Wow.
glad that I had it, and it paid for an apartment, and it allowed me to have it, and they gave me an automobile. Anyway, that was the deal. So the deal is that if I could have a green American Express card, and then this is how it unfolded.
Oh, right. Thank you very much.
Have you ever?
That was the stickers one. Sorry. I got excited.
Because I've lived somewhat of a creative lifestyle, I've just begun my climb up the materialistic ladder. Well, I know I'm going to have a status symbol when I'm able to be sitting at a restaurant and pull out a green American Express card.
An American Express card? Well, I own an American Express card, and I have for years. My idea of a status symbol would be a BMW.
Well, I own a BMW, but I'm going to have to sell a lot of oysters to afford what I consider to be a status symbol, and that's a luxurious townhouse condominium.
I own my own luxury beachfront condominium, but my idea of a status symbol would be if I could fly around the state conducting business in my own plane.
I fly around the state on business in my own airplane, but to me, the biggest status symbol would be owning my own oil well.
Well, I have my own oil well, but I think a real status symbol would be to have some glamorous job, like a television reporter.
Well, I'll be. Status really is in the eye of the beholder. Maybe there's a lesson here for me. A status symbol is kind of like being at a carnival on a merry-go-round. It may be lots of fun, but in and of itself, it's never going to get you anywhere. Dennis Tardan, 3, Eyewitness News.
I'm laughing because you still make the same like facial expressions. It's just so cute. I love it.
It is.
Yes.
I don't make the same follicular impressions, but I do make the same facial impressions.
And I want to say MM said black card. She always wanted the black card.
Well,
Right.
see that, but that's it. But a status symbol is just in the eye of the beholder on how on how we have it. Each person has their own idea of what they think that would be a status symbol. I'm like a dead person would be, a status person would be alive.
Yeah. Yeah, we have different bars that we raise. Or like think about like there are a lot of people who are maybe CEOs or the president of something, or there's some great sultan, but they're working nonstop. And I think, gosh, that would be so annoying for me. I would prefer to have a little bit less money, a little bit less of what they have, if I could just have some breathing room. Like how much money can you put on your life and how you get to spend your time? A lot of those people become slaves to their whatever
they are owned.
If they love it, then that's
by
great.
their
But if
job.
they don't love it, then
You're absolutely right.
yeah. So it's an interesting thing. But so you talked a little bit about how you came up with that, and then how do you produce something like that? I always wanted to ask somebody this because I love news and I love news broadcasting. Like literally, how did you put all that together? There's so many moving parts. I was exhausted just watching it. It's so short.
Wasn't it?
And
I
yet
was
for
so
me,
proud
I
of
would be
that.
exhausted.
that was what was just finding each one, and each person who
Oh,
said something, they would say, that they would, just like the person said, talked about the BMW. So I called around to find who had a BMW and would they do the television. Then they did that, and they said luxury part, and they called around and found someone that had that, and just each one built it. But I was very proud of how that was built.
but so you were like co-writing it with them. So the first lady really did say BMW, and then you.
Yeah, whatever they said
No.
whatever they said was their status symbol.
What?
Was then I went out and fought to find a person that had that status symbol.
And then at the end, you told the last guy with the plane, just make sure you say news report. Okay, but that was the only part that you actually wrote?
Right, right.
What? I'm so glad I asked. I didn't know that. That's brilliant. How did you relinquish control enough to do that? That's awesome.
Well, it was just when you're producing one of these a day, I promise you relinquish a lot of control.
I can't believe that, because that's a lot of, like I'm saying, I don't think people really understand. I mean, you have to literally physically go to these places, and then you might have to do more than one take. It's not like these people might have gotten it right off the bat. And then you got to hustle across town. This is Corpus Christi, Texas, right? Wow. That is intense.
It was a lot of fun. I'm very proud of that particular one.
Yeah,
Well,
very good.
listen, may I take over for a minute?
No, don't do it. No, just kidding. Yes, I'll relinquish some control. We're both two control freaks, so it's hard. Okay, what would you like to do? We have about
Two control freaks walk into a production studio.
Yeah, we have four minutes left about.
Yeah, I need to leave a little bit early because I have an appointment. But anyhow,
Mhm.
I just want to thank everyone for.
Did you have something you wanted to say there, though?
I was in the middle of saying it.
Oh, okay. All right. I didn't know. All right. I'm leaving you alone. Okay. I'm here. You have the stage. What? Okay, wait. All right, here we go. Did you want me on or not? I was giving you the
I want you on. Just
okay, all right. You
leave
want my
it
reaction?
right here. Anyway, I am so excited about being back on television. I realize that because you have so many demands on your time that I don't get an opportunity to have your time on television. So I want to thank you because I need it. I need the reps. I need to be able to do it. So us having the regular R&D cafes is helping me to be able to get back into it. And so
It's
I
fun. It's a
expect
lot
them
of
to
fun.
be more entertaining as they go along. Renee and I are executive producers of the AI and I. It is just now, I just finished it. It just finished rendering. And so that'll be up.
That was the commercial that they saw at the very beginning, or if you're replay
Exactly.
squad,
And
you
so
saw at the
this is,
beginning or press
yeah,
replay.
exactly. And so, and the opening, I believe it's going to be even better as we have during this time. But anyway, I want to thank everyone who has supported me and has supported you, Renee, and all the people that you have supported because this is truly I love getting an opportunity to be able to resume the career and resume to be able to do something that is foundational and really inspiring to me, and that only happens because of you, Renee. You have done this. You have been the person who has been the foundation that has created this opportunity. And so I want to thank you. And I know because I talk to other people and they thank you too, whether they thank you to your face, or they thank you to the people, those of us who know you and who are so grateful to have the opportunity to be around you and to be in this process because you're amazing, you're extraordinary. I love you. I'm just so happy that to have this opportunity to be able to be on the broadcast with you.
Yes, and everyone should go to Tardan Media YouTube, and that is where you will be finding AI and I's premiere.
Yes.
That
And
was
normally the next time when I say something like that, you usually would at least stop for a second and say thank you or something to acknowledge it instead of just
I need a
brushing it
communication
on,
coach. If
instead of
you
just
could find a
brushing it off
communication
and
coach to work with
instead
me.
of just brushing it off and doing that. That I'm just
I just
remember for the
brushing it off.
next time try to do that. Or would you please? All
I'll
right.
work
Goodbye,
on it. Goodbye,
everybody.
everybody.